Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the A-list wave or line. I don't even know what to call it. Anyway, it's officially titled A-list. It's supposedly an Evergreen line where there are figures that should be available like at all times. Like, you know, if somebody wants an Iron Man figure or a Spider-Man figure or an Iron Spider figure, they should always be able to get it. At least that's the concept of Evergreen, right? Not a wave that comes and goes and never to be released again and can't get it and this and that. Whatever the case may be. But it is the A-list Iron Spider, the Marvel Studios Iron Spider. The other one that has been announced is the Iron Man, I believe it was the Mark 85 one. This is starting to hit targets. It has not officially gone up for order or anything like that anywhere yet. Probably going to be soon. I'm not really sure. Or maybe it's just going to be in stores and not available online. I have no idea how that's going to work. But we have the Iron Spider figure here. Yes, this Iron Spider figure has been released 2 to 3 times, depending on how you want to look at it. Once in the Infinity War Thanos Build-A-Figure wave. Then again in a Target exclusive 2-pack with Iron Man for Avengers Infinity War. That was not an Endgame pack. It was an Infinity War 2-pack where he actually had the spider legs. And then, if you want to count it, an International Best of wave Thanos Build-A-Figure. So, that is this one here. So, I actually happen to have this exact release. So, I have every single release of it. I don't remember why I had this one. I think I got this wave. As you can see, it had Ant-Man and Wasp in it. And it was the Thanos Build-A-Figure. But this was like the correct skin tone for Thanos. But anyway, there's that one. And then, you know, the 2 other ones that had released prior to that. So this one does not have the Spider-Man legs, the spider legs, which is unfortunate. But this one does have alternate fists that did not did not release with any of the previous versions. They only had the whip hands. So a little bit interesting. It's basically the same, but I will do full-on comparison so you guys can see the differences there. I will say a lot of folks are saying that's lazy Hasbro, lazy, because they didn't give us the spider legs. Extremely fair criticism that why wouldn't they put the legs in with this release? Like, that would make a whole lot of sense to do, but unfortunately we didn't get that. Now, as far as re-releasing it, you know, it's going to be personal opinions on, like, does it make sense, does it not make sense? Maybe the Iron Spider figure sold really well, so it makes sense to put it out there to give newer collectors an opportunity to get it, and then to have toys available in a store that if somebody's coming and wants a Spider-Man figure, they see it, they might pick it up. Or somebody's birthday's coming, you know, somebody's going to pick it up. All those different scenarios. Regardless, Hasbro is re-releasing various different figures to give newer collectors an opportunity to get those figures. Again, you don't have to buy them, right? Does it suck and take up a spot? No, because this entire line is going to be basically reissues of figures. So if you have it already, you're probably good. If you don't have it, hey, here's your chance to get it. Or if you're like me and want to do something crazy, this one is in my Infinity War display. This one is in my Endgame display. So maybe this one will go into my Far From Home display or my No Way Home display. You know, you could do stuff like that. It's an, you know, there's a chance to do that. Anyway, looking at the package, we get that wraparound Iron Spider. We get that same image on the side. We get a different image here on the back. The bio reads, "Advanced technology and high-tech gear are signature marks of the web-slinging hero Iron Spider." But, again, we've seen this figure before. We do get fists this time. That is new. And then these spider web accessories have been released with other figures. It has not been released with an Iron Spider figure. So here we go. So again, I know people hate it. All the criticism, blah, 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 wah, wah, wah. Iron Spider. Pick it up or don't. I will do the review for you guys and tell you guys, you know, if this is something that you might be interested in picking up based off of what you see or to fill a gap in your collection or whatever the case may be. But I guarantee so many of the comments are just going to be lazy Hasbro, why no spider legs, and that's probably it. Those 2 things are going to be the biggest thing. Just grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and then come back for the comments because I bet you it's going to be comedy gold. Okay, so here is the figure out of the package. And I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of like this figure. Always kind of have. I hated that he only had whip hands instead of other hands. Now we got fists, so that is a plus. Is this figure like an upgrade to the other ones? Yes and no. An upgrade to the very first one? Yes. An upgrade to the one in the 2-pack with Iron Man? No, because he does not have his legs. In fact, we get a big-ass peg hole in the back that was not present there in the original because, you know, he didn't have his spider legs, you know, at the time. But the 2-pack version has the spider legs there. This piece was glued on, so it's not like it came off. Maybe you could pop it off. I never pulled on it hard enough, but that's kind of what's going on there. So we have the peg hole there of what that piece should have gone on there. So yeah, this figure absolutely should have come with the spider legs. Yes, absolutely. Like, of course. Why they didn't, I don't know. It's always going to be a cost thing. Would it have been way more expensive to have these spider legs? Apparently, maybe. I don't know. I would have preferred it over these web accessories. These aren't terrible, but what real use do you get out of them? Not a whole lot. And I think it was the Gamerverse figures that came with these more so. And then the point of them, they would just kind of lay on the ground or lay on top of things, or you could stick it on something and act like, oh, look, Spider-Man webbed up a villain or whatever. And that's, you know, what they're for. But now I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of them. This, everybody would get use out of it. Everybody would love those spider legs. Why, again, they didn't do it? It's a cost thing, which sucks. And I have to believe that they would re-release Iron Spider specifically because maybe it's a highly sought after figure. I haven't bothered to look on eBay if it's like selling for crazy money in any kind of way. I have no idea. There has to be a reason for it, and I'm sure it's always money. Hasbro's a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's out to make profit. They exist for the sole purpose of making money. Would they have made more money by including these spider legs? I tend to think so. But would the cost have outweighed what they would have made? I don't know any of that stuff. Like, I don't know, but having the spider legs would have made a whole lot more sense. But anyway, let's get in for a closer look so we could talk about the differences between all 3 or all 4 releases. Although that international exclusive one was basically the same as this for that first Infinity War one. It was just repackaged. But let's get in for a closer look so we can really see the differences. If we look at it from the big overall perspective without zooming in, the reds are a little bit different and the blues are a little bit different. The golds on each one are, I guess, kind of different. So brighter gold on this first one, then we got a little bit darker before, but I think the gold on this one now is a lot darker compared to the other ones. The red is a little bit more metallic-ish. The blue is definitely lighter blue compared to the other two, which had a much darker blue, but in my opinion, a little bit more metallic, and that does look better. So if I had to pick on anyone, I would say this one is the best looking of it, but then this one is the best one because we get a Tom Holland head sculpt that I don't think is perfect. It's good, but we get the spider legs. You know, we got these gauntlet pieces that didn't come with the original. It has a little bit of blue paint added on there that we didn't get on these other ones, and that would really be the only difference. Other than that, paint applications are the same everywhere else on the figure. It's just a matter of, you know, slightly different shade of gold, slightly different shade of red. Like the red on this one was very like heavy and bright red, where it's not quite so much on there. So I do like the colors of this new one most, but the spider legs are more important than what that red and blue would kind of look. But let's get in for the closer look at that. Okay, so between these two releases, like if you look at the head sculpt kind of had a flat red color. The body had a little bit of a different color, as you know, it's a different plastic piece that would have the paint, so molded red paint here. This one matches quite nicely, in my opinion, and it gives it a little bit of a shine. So it's a metal suit, right? Nanotech metal suit. It makes sense that there would be a little bit of a shine to it, so I kind of like the way that looks. I like the lighter blue as well. It's still dark enough to match what we see in the movies, but you could really see like it's much more blue, whereas this one, if you look quickly at it, you can almost say that it's a black color. Well, this one is a full-on blue color, and again, does look really nice. As far as the reds, again, just kind of gives it a little bit more of a metallic sheen. That little bit of shine makes it look a little bit more metallic to kind of match the fact that, you know, it's all metal. So I think it looks best there compared to the 2-pack version with the spider legs. Again, those blues on the older ones were the same, so this blue is a little bit better. The red is a little bit more metallic, and then again, the gauntlet piece just gets a little bit of bright light blue paint in there just to kind of show a glowing light. And then, of course, the fists are different. So those are the key differences between the figures. So fists, paint, the little bit of paint on the gauntlet is really the only change. But in my opinion, again, the blues and the reds look best on this one. Is that enough to warrant buying another one? Depends on your reasons. In most cases, nah, it's not going to be. In my case, I'm going to get every Marvel Legends figure just to review for you guys and to have for my collection. That's just kind of what I do now. That's my main focus and priority on collecting. I'm going to get them all. I'm going to review them all for you guys. And then when you have MCU figures that get released multiple times, sometimes it makes sense. Other times it does not. Like an Iron Man Mark 85. I don't need another damn Mark 85. But an Iron Spider, again, the suit did appear in Spider-Man Homecoming. It appeared in Spider-Man Far From Home. It appeared in Avengers Infinity War. It appeared in Avengers Endgame. And it appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's 5 movies that this suit was actually in. Now, is everyone going to have a figure for each, separate display for each movie? No. They're not. Some people will. I group my figures that way. And so I have one in Infinity War. I have one in Endgame. So now I could put this new one in with No Way Home. Or I could put it in with Far From Home. Or I could even throw it in with the Homecoming stuff because it made an appearance in there and it could make sense. Those are my reasons. It's going to be different for everybody. Maybe they're not as crazy as me when it comes to MCU figures. But that's kind of my thing, right? Is MCU figures. That's what I collect. That was my main focus. That's what truly got me into collecting Marvel Legends. It was the MCU figures. So for me, I'm happy with this one, the Mark 85 Iron Man. I think it's the Mark 85 unless it's the one from Infinity War. Either way, that one I'm not really happy about because I don't have anything I could do with that in that same sense. I will get it. I will review it for you guys and do a comparison. But, that one stings a little bit. But, we have this here. But let's go ahead and get into the articulation of this Iron Spider figure. So he can look up that much there. It is on the neck is on a disc hinge, so he can look down that much. You get a full rotation in that head sculpt. The shoulders you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there on that shoulder. There is a butterfly joint, so you can actually get that arm to go back quite a bit there. Going for some crossbody, you can actually get a fair amount, as you can see there, which is quite nice. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinned elbows. This was before Marvel Legends had gone pinless, because Infinity War came out, 5 or 6 years ago at this point? That's when this figure came out, so it is old. So we do see pins in there, and that sucks because red pins on the blue, terrible looking. This side, hey, red on red, it works. But this side, ugly, ugly, ugly. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. Fists and whip hands have the standard horizontal hinge. We have the ab crunch on Iron Spider, so he can crunch forward that much there. He can go back that much there. You get the waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart, so not real great. Leg can kick forward that much, as you can see there. Doesn't go back at all. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. There are pins, as you can see, blue on blue. A little bit of gold kind of gets lost in there. Should be a little bit of red, but blue on blue. It's not terrible. It's not perfect, but we have that there. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. No calf swivel or boot swivel of any kind there. So, bam, Iron Spider. One final side-by-side comparison with the Iron Spider figure. So again, this is my 4th time now getting this figure. For other folks, it might be their first time, their second time, third time, could be their 4th time like me. It is what it is at this point. Again, it's one of those things. Newer collectors that are coming in, MCU fans growing up with the movies. 6 years ago, somebody could have been really young, didn't get a chance to get those figures, comes into collecting now as they're an adult, and they're like, hey, I would love to get that Iron Spider figure. Awesome. Look at that. It's in store. I can pick it up, right? That's not for everybody. That's not for the hardcore collectors. That's not for the collectors that have been collecting since Avengers Infinity War came out. It's for the new collectors, right? And I think the community at times just doesn't give a shit about that. They're just like, me. I don't want it. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense for me. Yeah, it's not going to make sense for you, but what about the next guy? Or 2 guys later, right? That's the kind of thing. Like, it would be crazy for any toy company to not think, hey, people really like this figure. Let's try and get it out. Now, again, is the Iron Spider the best one they could have done? Maybe, maybe not. Again, I haven't looked to see if it's how well it's selling or anything like that. I'm sure other ones probably could have done better. But who knows how those decisions really get made. So it's kind of crazy. When anybody's new into collecting and wants to get certain figures that they missed out on, how often do you think like, man, if only they could re-release that one, or I would love to get that one, or maybe they'll come out with a new version or whatever the case may be. We've always wanted those. We've always wished for that. And this is an opportunity for some folks to be able to get that. Will they do something like this with comic figures potentially? I don't know, but we always tend to see a lot of like updated figures that come out, like Sabretooth. We're getting another Sabretooth. We're getting another Logan. We've gotten those before, but we're now getting another one. So eventually those come around. But for the MCU, it's kind of a different story, right? Those suits aren't going to make sense later on with another movie unless they do some kind of reissue or some kind of special wave, like Infinity Saga. Again, it's all about giving people an additional opportunity. It's not meant for everybody, but it's meant for a small amount of people within the community. And I think so much toxicity around it, so much negativity around it is just kind of like crazy to me. Like, if you don't like it, cool. You don't have to buy it. Like, you know what I mean? And then like to shit on somebody else for wanting it and to get it is like crazy, right? My friends give me shit about it, but it's all in good fun, right? But there's generally people out there that are like, this is the dumbest thing ever. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, what is going on? And I don't see it that way, and maybe my perspective is just different. My expectations of what Hasbro, a multi-billion-dollar company that's going to do, that, how much they really care about the collector. They care about money, right? Things to think about from that aspect. But I'm ranting on. I'm just rambling. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on that commentary down in the comments below. I am going to show you guys one more comparison, and that's going to be the final swing suit, because that was the most recent MCU Spider-Man figure that we had gotten versus kind of the newer one here. And there's a bit of a size difference, and the articulation schemes are not the same. I prefer this one here. The head is a little bit bigger the more and more that I look at it, but definitely a better executed figure compared to this Iron Spider figure that had released a few years ago. So final comparison. There you go. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this Iron Spider that was released for the fourth time, officially fourth different version of release. The international one was not available in the US, but some people were able to order it online or whatever and get it. What do you guys think of this A-list concept? Is it something that you support? Is it something that you despise? Do you hate it because it's MCU? Because there's a lot of folks that don't collect anything MCU, only collect comic figures. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this one, again, people that enjoy the movies, that were younger, they're new to collecting, it gives them that opportunity. And I can't, how can you not support that for the collector's sake, right? We're a community. Let's come together instead of driving a wedge between everybody and everything and hating on everything and half the things or whatever. Again, for them, this is a good opportunity to get a figure that they may have missed out on. That's the idea. That is the purpose of it. And to have something that's always going to be readily available for them. So again, it's not going to be for everybody. But I know, again, the comments are going to be crazy. Just lazy Hasbro. Can't believe they released this thing 50 million times. It is the third release for the US, fourth release technically overall. Yes, should have come with the spider legs. That would have been amazing. Why it didn't, I don't know. It sucks. But if it had come with it, that would have been pretty awesome. And I think everybody probably would have been loving it. But it is what it is. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's try to be as civil as possible in the comments. But yes, get your popcorn ready because there's going to be a lot of hate in the comments. I'm sure people are probably going to be hating on me because I normally get that anyway. So it'll be fun to check out. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys like this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. You can hit the thumbs down if you want. It is all good. It's all engagement. So you guys can do that. But anyway, hit that thumbs up. I would prefer that. If you guys subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the join button to become a channel member. Help support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend, depending on when you're watching this. But thank you guys.